Okay, everyone, here is a small video which shows how I have rigged up my silver or royal cone winder along with my electric Hansen Mini Spinner in order to wind my yarn on cones. The cones that I use, these are thread cones that you might be able to get from any place which does a whole bunch of sewing. These are the cones which are inside the serger threads. I get them from a store in Tacoma, Tinkertopia, and they're fairly cheap. So, or you could get them for free also. The view that you're looking might look really crazy because it is upside down. You're seeing a top view. My feet are down here. Can you see my feet? Yep, you can see my socks. Okay, so you're seeing a top view of everything. The cone winder, which is this guy, the silver reed cone winder, it's mounted not on the regular shelf horizontally this way, but I have rigged it up to mount it vertically. And this is where that white cone which comes originally with it, this is the mechanism in which it sits. And here is the turning mechanism with which you wind a cone. But this is usually attached to a shelf sitting horizontally. But I have mounted it vertically. In addition to the electric mini spinner, I do have a quill attachment with it, which is used for spinning cotton or for winding cones, like I use it. Or I used to even wind my singles on storage bobbins using this. So what I've done is I have placed it such that the spring mechanism of of whatever you call this thing, the cylinder that makes the yarn go up and down, that rests against the quill. And let me get a cone winder here. Yeah. And I have a cork with a rubber thing out here which holds it snug against the quill here, and this in turn then fits inside my cone, and that makes a firm fit. So I just insert that regular cork in there and attach this in here, and I use another rubber cork on the top just to make sure that the whole thing is centered and it doesn't wobble around, because if it wobbles then it doesn't do this. The one reason why I did this was my cone winder already had something broken in it, so I actually can attach these yellow cones directly on the red one and hand crank them. So this is something I thought of, like, let me see if I can wind it on using the e-spinner. So now it's attached. The direction of I can make my spinner go clockwise or anti-clockwise. Anti-clockwise is what works for this. It's going pretty fast right now. Let me just lower down the speed. So let's just lower it down further. That's the slowest it will go, but that's good. But you can see that needs to rest directly against this. That's why I have this sitting at an angle, so the slope of the cone is right against the cylinder out here. I do have some cone. This is what I had already wound on it earlier. This would be perfect for machine knitting, sock knitting, or regular machine knitting. And since right now I am upside down, there we go, I still need to figure out how to thread these things. So the way I go under just to start it up. That's where it'll go. And then, yeah, and then I can raise the speed up. And it just winds up my cone. I'm going to try next winding it out from a hank, which is on a Swift, but I think it should work just fine. But you can see it does a pretty decent job. and I can increase the speed further. But this way I don't have to hand crank, which is really nice, and I can make a nice tight cone on the winder. And I am applying some tension on the cone or on the yarn, so it gives me a more even wind. I think it might just flop around too much and get tangled up if I didn't hold the yarn at all. Coming towards the end, so I'm just going to lower the speed a little bit. There we go. Got a cone all winded on this. I can just go ahead and remove it from the quill. It's a nice snug fit, and I can then pop out that guy. But there's your cone all winded up. And granted, you do need an electric spinner for it, and the quill attachment and the cones and different things, but this is what I came up with all the things that I had available at home. So hopefully you can find a solution for winding cones more efficiently. Hope this helps.